Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes, and welcome to yet another video of Psycho Seb. Now, I am a man who is trying to stay positive as much as possible. Although I have to admit that in the last couple of years it has become more and more difficult to stay positive, and as a matter of fact, I have become quite a cynical and a negative man, but that will not stop me from fighting for positivity and from trying to stay positive as often as humanly possible. Now, in this day and age when a lot of people are complaining all the time about different things, and since this is a geek-oriented channel, let's focus on the geek things and nerd things of the pop culture. So people have been criticizing a lot, everything. The fact that comic book industry goes to hell, and it is going to hell, slowly and gradually. The fact that Disney has ruined the Star Wars franchise, it has, yes, but none of these things will stop me from trying to stay positive and talk about positive things connected with Star Wars. Now, what should I talk about? Well, yes, maybe the best thing that happened to Star Wars since the Clone Wars, which is the Mandalorian, obviously. Now, why is Mandalorian the best thing that happened to the franchise since the Clone Wars? And in comparison with the sequel trilogy and with the even with Rogue One and Solo, why is it so much better? Well, it is a conglomerate of things for many reasons, and I will try to sum them up very quickly and briefly so this video isn't 3 hours long. Now, first and foremost, well, you can consider this a sort of the Mandalorian season 1 review if you'd like. Now, first and foremost, it's very well made. It's very well made as far as the filmmaking aspect goes. It was created and written and mostly directed by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, people who I would say are, the two men who can save the Star Wars franchise are Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So I believe that they wrote most of the 8 episodes that have come out so far and directed them. Now, we know Jon Favreau from, of course, for him really, directing films like Iron Man 2, I believe, and a lot of other very good films. And Dave Filoni, most Star Wars fans know him in connection with the Clone Wars. Now, Kathleen Kennedy herself, she was not, if I'm not wrong, involved in the making of The Mandalorian as much as she was involved in the making of the sequel trilogy, which is also one of the main reasons why The Mandalorian wasn't shite and the sequel trilogy was, because Kathleen Kennedy is the embodiment of the dark side. Now, so this is the first reason. In general, it was very well made. Now, the story is very good. Now, there is a hint of the unknown, right? There is the mystery, and it is my firm belief that if you need a good story, if you want to make your story very good, you need to include the aspect, the factor of mystery, because people are, well, of course, always wondering, about things they don't know or what isn't shown explicitly. When you think about a completely different genre, horror, a horror film which doesn't show you the villain or the monster most of the time or throughout the entire length of the movie is much more suspenseful, much more interesting and intriguing, and in general much better than a horror film that shows you, guts and intestines spilling everywhere, right? So that is probably maybe why I like, let's say, the first Alien movie a bit more than Aliens, the second one, because the first Alien movie was mainly about the atmosphere of the space, when no one can hear you scream, and the group of people there on Nostromo ship being locked with a creature that is slowly killing everyone, each and every one of them, and Ridley Scott didn't really have to show us a lot of the xenomorph creature for us to feel the suspense, right? So that is why there is the aspect of mystery, which is first and foremost, who is the Mandalorian? He never takes his mask off or his helmet off. He is a mysterious hero. And the second one, the obvious thing, the child or Baby Yoda. What the hell is it? Is it an offspring of Yoda himself, or is Baby Yoda just a member of Yoda's race, and it isn't related to him, with blood? Is each and every single member of Yoda's race force sensitive, or is it just a coincidence? Is it a clone of Master Yoda? Who the hell is it? And if it is an offspring of Master Yoda, he must have had it with the other member of the Jedi Council who was of the race of Master Yoda, or with some other member that we don't know about. And if so, when will we see Master Yoda having sexual intercourse? Now, that's the gist of it. We only know, well, basically two things about the child or Baby Yoda. First, it's obviously a member of the Master Yoda race, and secondly, it is the cutest thing that has appeared on screen in 100 years. It's the cutest thing in the world, in the universe, right? So that's another thing. So you've got a good story, suspenseful story. You've got mystery. You've got Baby Yoda, which means that suddenly you are targeting so many people. You are targeting old Star Wars fans because there are many things and many aspects and factors in the TV show that are staying true to the original trilogy, and there are many references to many, I'm not going to name them or list them because there are a lot of them. References, audio-visual references to the old trilogy and to the prequel trilogy, which suddenly people like much more than the sequel trilogy, right? So you are targeting old Star Wars fans. Then with the very good story and the mystery and a very good filmmaking, you are also targeting new audiences, because it is not true at all that people are not interested in Star Wars these days. They are interested in Star Wars, but they are interested in good Star Wars. People are stupid, but they are not that stupid, right? If you want to attract audience of human beings, it doesn't matter if you are making a film or a book, comic book, you need to make it good in order for people to like it and to feel attracted by your work of art. So that's it. And what is I think also, well, not also, but what is maybe the most important thing of all, you are targeting people of all ages. Also children, because of the Baby Yoda. And George Lucas himself said it many times before, that he created Star Wars for children. It's basically a fairy tale. It is a space opera fantasy happening in space, with spaceships and lightsabers and blasters and droids and cute things and puppets. Puppets, that's another thing connected with the filmmaking. In the TV show, they were using a lot of practical effects and puppets, which was also one of the very few things which was good about the sequel trilogy, that they weren't only relying on computer effects. They were actually coming back to practical effects and using puppets and using costumes, right? And things like that. It's always better. It always looks better. Just compare, for instance, The Lord of the Rings with The Hobbit visually, right? Weta made thousands, hundreds of thousands of replicas and props and masks for The Lord of the Rings. The result of this was that visually The Lord of the Rings is perfect, just pure perfection. Whereas in The Hobbit, almost everything was done on computer, with computer graphics and computer effects. I mean, the creatures, like the goblins and the orcs, and they all looked the same, and they looked fake, because it's obvious that it's fake. You can always recognize, we haven't got that far yet. You can always recognize when something is done, by computer effects. Well, you can mostly recognize puppets, but still, it looks more realistic and it looks better altogether. So we've got that. And then thousands of other things. The series has tremendously catchy and awesome soundtrack made by Ludwig Göransson, I believe his name is, an Icelandic man, if I'm not wrong. So you've got also the audio aspect of the TV show made perfect. Now, the cast is fantastic. The Mandalorian himself, Mando, or Din Djarin, as we discovered in the end, spoilers, that his true name is, portrayed by Pedro Pascal. Now, spoilers. He doesn't show his face until, I believe, the last episode, and we can only see his face like for 5 seconds. But still, he portrayed the Mandalorian perfectly. He doesn't need to show his face in order for us to love him. It's the same as with Dredd, portrayed by Carl Urban. Sorry, my computer screen is going dark all the time. Now, right? So there's the main character, the protagonist, Mando, Mandalorian, or Din Djarin. Then we've got Baby Yoda, obviously. Enough said, we don't need to really elaborate upon that. And then people... and now I have to look at the computer screen so I don't mess up the cast and the names. Yeah, Grief Karga, the one of the bosses of the Bounty Hunter Guild, portrayed by Carl Weathers. Apollo from Rocky films. Come on! He was awesome in that. And you've got the star aspect there. So you've got the star aspect also. Actors that are known, that are famous. Well, they will always draw attention of the audience. So you've got Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones. Most people know him from Game of Thrones. You've got Carl Weathers from Rocky movies and Predator. Dylan, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Then you've got Werner Herzog as the client. It is a very important asset. He was an awesome villain. He wasn't in the show that much, and he didn't do much. He just stood, or he was sitting, and he was talking with a very strong German accent, but he was fantastic. All the same. Now you've got what was her name? I'm sorry, I have to find it. Gina Carano as Cara Dune. Man, now there are scenes in the film which really made me love the character very, very much. I don't want to spoil much, but let's say that she is one of the most badass Star Wars characters that have appeared in the franchise in a long time. Now, forget about Rey. Come on. Forget about Finn. Forget about Poe Dameron. F them. I'm sorry, but they are not interesting characters for me. They are boring and bland, predictable. They're nobody talks about them. People don't want to buy their action figures. People don't want to wear them on T-shirts. People don't want to buy freaking mugs with the Rey on them. Just and if they do, they're pretentious bastards. Come on. But Cara Dune, come on. I think that her action figure hasn't come out yet, or has it? But my prediction is that her action figure is going to sold out like that, or sell out like that very quickly, very swiftly. So, another thing, you've got interesting characters. Very good characters. Very well written characters. Mysterious characters. You've got the star aspect. You've got famous actors in the show. And that's it, right? And you've got very good action scenes. I've got, but that's also connected with the filmmaking, So the narration is good, or the narrative is good. The story is good, the filmmaking is good, there is the mystery aspect, there is the cute aspect of Baby Yoda, which draws attention of the children. There is the very good music soundtrack, right? You've got the visual aspect done properly because it uses practical effects and puppets and costumes, and you've got very good action scenes and a good villain, several of them actually, and the semi-spoiler, the show ends with kind of a interesting and intriguing cliffhanger, and you've got a catching line. This is the way. You need a line like this in a franchise if you want to make it famous, if you want to make it popular and successful. You need a catchphrase, because sometimes it's the catchphrase that people can remember, only the catchphrase. And we've got a very catching phrase in The Mandalorian, which people are now even wearing on t-shirts. This is the way. Come on, there are hundreds of thousands of memes with "this is the way" thing done, or this way or another. So I really can only see one negative about The Mandalorian, or two negatives. There is the possibility of a delay of the second season, for obvious reasons, and I wouldn't like that, because there should be Ahsoka Tano in the second season. Come on, bring it. Take my money, Disney Plus. And the second negative is one of the episodes, which now I have to find it. Which one it was? It was, I think, was it the 6th one, or was it the 7th one? It was called The Prisoner. Season 1. Yeah, chapter 6, The Prisoner. Now, it was the only episode that wasn't written by Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni. And it wasn't disastrous, but it was boring. It was when the Mandalorian and the group of very boring and bland bounty hunters or somebody were rescuing a Twi'lek man from a prison, from a New Republic prison, and Baby Yoda, appeared just for 2 minutes in it. So it was okay, but the rest of the episodes were perfect, right? So that's it. That's basically it. I have given you a list of at least, I think, 10 things that make The Mandalorian the best thing that happened to the Star Wars franchise since the introduction of the Clone Wars TV show. Now, please do share your own opinions. Did you like Mandalorian? Did you enjoy it or not? Share your opinion. Do you agree with me or not? What do you think is the best thing that has happened to Star Wars since, whenever, right? So, also, feel free to dislike this video, feel free to like this video, feel free to share this video, and subscribe to my unimportant channel. And I will see you very soon in another video, my friends. See you soon. May the Force be with you. This is the way, and bye.